Hi, I'm Lily. Today I'm going to read you the story Charlotte's Web, Chapter 12 and Chapter 13. First, Charlotte's Web, Chapter 12, A Meeting. One evening, a few days after the writing had appeared in Charlotte's Web, the spider called a meeting of all the animals in the barn cellar. I shall begin my calling the roll. Wilbur, here, said the pig. Gander, here, 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 said the gander. You should like 3 ganders, muttered Charlotte. Why can't you just say here? Why do you have to repeat everything? It's my idiosyncrasy, replied the gander. Goose, said Charlotte. Here, 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 said the goose. Charlotte glared at her. Goslings 1 through 7, B-B-B, 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 said the goslings. This is getting to be quite a meeting, said Charlotte. Anybody would think we had 3 ganders, 3 geese, and 21 goslings. Sheep? Hee-haw, answered the sheep altogether. Lambs? Hee-haw, answered the lambs altogether. Templeton? No answer. Templeton? No answer. Well, we're all here except the rat, said Charlotte. I guess we can proceed with him. Now, all of you must have noticed what's been going on around here the last few days. The message I wrote in my web, praising Wilbur, has been received. The Zuckermans have fallen for it, and so has everybody else. Zuckerman think Wilbur is an unusual pig, and therefore he won't want to kill him and eat him. I dare say my trick will work and Wilbur's life can be saved. Hooray! Cried everybody. Thank you very much, said Charlotte. Now I call this meeting in order to get suggestions. I need new ideas for the web. People are already getting sick of reading the words some pig. If anybody can think of another message or remark, I will be glad to weave it into the web. Any suggestions for a new slogan? How about pig supran? Asked one of the lambs. No good, said Charlotte. It sounds like a witch dessert. Oh, how about terrific? Asked the goose. Cut that down to 1 terrific and it will do very nicely, said Charlotte. I think terrific might impress Zuckerman. But Charlotte, said Wilbur, I'm not terrific. That doesn't make a particle of difference, said Charlotte. Not a particle. People believe almost anything they see in print. Does anybody here know how to spell terrific? I think, said Gander. It's TWE double O double O double R double R double I double F double F double FF double I double C. Oh my God. What kind of an acrobat do you think I am? Said Charlotte in disgust. I'll save it to ST. Vitus danced with a word like that into my web. Sorry, said the gander. Then the oldest sheep spoke up. I agree that there should be something new written in the web if Wilbur's life is to be saved. And if Charlotte needs to help in finding words, I think she can get it from our friend Templeton. The rat visits the dump regularly and has access to old magazines. He can tear out bits of advertisements and bring them up here to the burn cellar so that Charlotte can have something to copy. Good idea, said Charlotte, but I'm not sure Templeton will be willing to help. You know how he is, always looking out for himself, never thinking of the other fellow. I bet I can get him to help, said the old sheep. I will appear to his besser in instances, of which he has plenty. Here he comes now. Everybody keep quiet while I put the matter up to him. The rat entered the barn the way he always did, creeping along close to the wall. What's up? He asked, seeing the animals assembled. We're holding a directors' meeting, replied the old sheep. Well, break it up, said Charlotte. Meetings bore me, and the rat began to climb a rope that hung against the wall. Look, said the old sheep. Next time you go to the drum Templeton, bring back a clipping from a magazine. Charlotte needs new ideas so she can write messages in her web to save Wilbur's life. Let him die, said the rat. I should worry. You will worry, all right. When next winter comes, said the sheep, you will worry all right on a 0 morning next January when Wilbur is dead and nobody comes down here with a nice pail of warm slops to pour into the trough. Wilbur's leftover food is your chief source of supply. Templeton, you know that Wilbur's food is your food. Therefore, Wilbur's destiny and your destiny are closely linked. If Wilbur is killed and his straw stands empty day after day, you will both those in. We can look right through your stomach and see objects on the other side. Templeton's whiskers quivered. Maybe you're right, he said gruffly. I'm making a trip to the dump tomorrow afternoon. I will bring back a magazine clipping if I can find one. Thanks, said Charlotte. The meeting is now adjourned. I have a busy evening ahead of me. I've got to tear my web apart and write terrific. Wilbur blushed. But I'm not terrific, Charlotte. I'm just a verge for pig. You're terrific as far as I'm concerned, replied Charlotte sweetly, and that's what counts. You're my best friend, and I think you're sensational. Now stop arguing and go get some sleep. Okay, next chapter, Charlotte's Web, chapter 13. Good progress. Far into the night, while the other creatures slept, Charlotte worked on her web. First, she ripped out a few of her orb lines near the center. She left the readier lines alone as they were needed for support as she worked. Her 8 legs were a great help to her. So were her teeth. She loved to weave and she was an expert at it. When she was finished ripping things out, her web looked something like this. Look at this. It's Charlotte's web and there's nothing. A spider can produce several kinds of thread. She uses a dry thread for foundation lines, and she uses a sticky thread for snare lines, the one that catch and hold insects. Charlotte decided to use her dry thread for writing the new message. If I write the word terrific with sticky thread, she thought, every bug that comes along will get stuck in it and spoil the effect. Now let's see. The first letter is T. Charlotte climbed to a point and the top of the left hand side of the web, swinging her spinnerets into position. She attached her thread and then dropped down. As she dropped, her spinning tubes went into action and she let out thread. At the bottom, she attached the thread. This formed a upright part of the letter T. Charlotte was not satisfied. However, she climbed up and made another attachment right next to the first. Then she carried the line down so that she had a double line instead of a single line. It will show up better if I make the whole thing with double lines. She climbed back up, moved over about an inch to the left, touched her spinnerets to the web, and then carried a line across to the right, forming the top of the T. She repeated this, making it double. Her 8 legs were very busy helping. Now for the E. Charlotte got so interested in her work, she began to talk herself and threw to cheer herself herself on. If you had been sitting quietly in the burnt cellar that evening, you would have heard something like this. Here. Now for the R. Up we go. Attach. Descend. Pay outline. Wow. Attach. Good. Up you go. Repeat. Attach. Descend. Descend. Pay outline. Whoa. Go. Steady now. Attach. Climb. Attach. Over to the right. Pay outline, attach. Now right and down and swing that loop and around. Now into the left. Attach, climb, repeat. Okay, easy. Keep those lines together. Now. Okay, then out and down for the leg of the R. Pay outline. Wow, attach, ascend. Repeat. Good girl. And so, talking to herself, the spider worked at her difficult task. When it was completed, she felt hungry. She ate a small bug that she had been saving. Then she slept. Next morning, Wilbur arose and stood beneath the web. He breathed the morning air into his lungs. Drops of dew catching the sun made the web stand out clearly. When Lurvy arrived with breakfast, there was the handsome pig, and over him, woven neatly in block letters, was the word terrific. Another miracle. Lurvy rushed and called Mr. Jokerman. Mr. Jokerman rushed and called Mrs. Jokerman. Mrs. Jokerman ran to the phone and called the Arabos. The Arabos climbed into their truck and hurried over. Everybody stood at the pig pen and stared at the web and read the word over and over, while Wilbur, who really felt terrific, stood quietly smiling and swelling out his chest and swinging his snout from side to side. I'm going to show you that Charlotte's web. Look at this, Charlotte's web. It says terrific. Can you see this? It's amazing. It's the second miracle. First miracle was some pig, and I'm going to show you that some pig. This is some pig. This is single line, and this is double line. Terrific. Wow, it's amazing. Terrific, breathed Jokerman in joyful admiration. Edith, you better phone the reporter on the weekly Chronicle and tell him what has happened. He will want to know about this. He may want to bring a photographer. There isn't a pig in the whole state that is as terrific as our pig. The news spread. People who had journeyed to see Wilbur when he was some pig came back again to see him now that he was terrific. That afternoon, when Mr. Jokerman went to milk the cows and clean out the tie-ups, he was still thinking about what wondrous pig he owned. Lurvy, he called, there is to be no more cow manure down into that pig pen. I have a terrific pig. I want that pig to have a clean, bright straw every day for his bedding. Understand? Yes, sir, said Lurvy. Furthermore, said Mr. Jokerman, I want you to start building a crate for Wilbur. I have decided to take the pig to the country fair on September 6th. Make the crate large and paint it green with gold letters. What will the letters say? Asked Lurvy. They should say Jokerman's famous pig. Lurvy picked up a pitchfork and walked away to get some clean straw. Having such an important pig was going to mean plenty of extra work. He could see that. Below the apple orchard at the end of a path, that the dump where Mr. Jokerman threw all sorts of trash and stuff that nobody wanted anymore. Here in a small clearing hidden by young alders and wild raspberry bushes was an astonishing pile of old bottles and empty tin cans and dirty rags and bits of metal and broken bottles and broken hinges and broken springs and dead batteries and last month's magazine and old discarded dish mops and tattered overalls and rusty spikes and leaky pails for forgotten staples and useless junk of all kinds, including a wrong-sized crank for a broken ice cream freezer. Templeton knew the dump would like it. Templeton knew dump and liked it. There were good hiding places there, excellent cover for a rat, and there was usually a tin can with food still clinging to the inside. Templeton was down there now, remaining around. When he returned to the barn, he carried in his mouth an advertisement he had torn from a crumpled magazine. "How's this?" he asked, showing the ad to Charlotte. "It says crunch, crunch. Would be a good word to write in your wrap." "Just the wrong idea," replied Charlotte. "Couldn't be worse. We don't want Jockerman to think Wilbur is crunchy. He might start thinking about crisp, crunchy bacon and tasty ham. That would put ideas into his head. We must advertise Wilbur's noble qualities, not his tastiness. Go. And yet another word, please." Templeton, the rat, looked disgusted, but he sneaked away to the dump, and he was back in a while with a strip of cotton cloth. "How's that?" he asked. "It is a label of an old shirt." Charlotte examined the label. It said, "Pre-shrunk." "I'm sorry, Templeton," she said, "but pre-shrunk is out of the question. We want Jockerman to think Wilbur's nestling fell out, not or shrunk up. I will have to ask you to try again." "What do you think I am, a messenger boy?" grumbled the rat. "I'm not going to spend all my time chasing down to the dump after advertising material." "Just once more, please," said Charlotte. "I will tell you what I will do," said Charlotte. I know where there's a package of soap flakes in the woodshed. It has writing on it. I'll bring you a piece of package." He climbed a rope that hung on the wall and disappeared through a hole in the ceiling. When he came back, he had a strip of blue and white cardboard in his teeth. "There," he said triumphantly. "How's that?" Charlotte read the words, "with new radiant action." "What does it mean?" asked Charlotte, who had never used any soap flakes in her life. "How should I know?" said Charlotte. "You asked for words and I wrote them. I suppose the next thing you will want me to fetch in a dictionary." Together they studied the soap ad. "With new radiant action," repeated Charlotte slowly. "Wilbur," she said. Wilbur, who was asleep in the straw, jumped up. "Run around," commanded Charlotte. "I want to see you in action, to see if you are radiant." Wilbur raced to the end of his yard. "Now back again, faster," said Charlotte. Wilbur galloped back. His skin shone, his tail and had a fine tight curl in it. "Jump into the air," cried Charlotte. Wilbur jumped as high as he could. "Keep your knees straight and touch the ground with your ears," said Charlotte. Wilbur obeyed. "Do a backflip with a half twist in it," said Charlotte. "Look at this, Wilbur." Wilbur went over backwards, writhing and twisting as he went. "Okay, Wilbur," said Charlotte. "You can go back to sleep." "Okay, Templeton, the soap ad will do, I guess. I'm not sure Wilbur's action is exactly radiant, but it's interesting." "Actually," said Wilbur, "I feel radiant." "Do you?" said Charlotte, looking at him with affection. "Well, you're a good little pig, and radiant you shall be. I'm in this thing pretty deep now. I might as well to the limit." Tired from his romp, Wilbur lay down in the clean straw. He closed his eyes. The straw seemed scratchy, not as comfortable as the cow manure, which was always delightfully soft to lie in. So he pushed the straw to one side and stretched out out in the manure. Wilbur sighed. It has been a busy day. His first day of being trafficked. Dozens of people had visited his yard during the afternoon, and he had had to stand and pose, looking as trafficked as he could. Now he was tired. Fern had arrived and seated herself quietly on her stool in the corner. "Tell me a story, Charlotte," said Wilbur as he lay waiting for sleep to come. "Tell me a story." So Charlotte, although she too was tired, did what Wilbur wanted. "Once upon a time," she began, "I had a beautiful cousin who managed to build her web across a small stream. On one day, a tiny fish leaped into the air and got tangled in the web. My cousin was very much surprised, of course. The fish was thrashing wildly. My cousin hardly dared tackle it, but she did. She whooped down and threw great masses of wrapping material around the fish and fought bravely to capture it. Did she succeed?" asked Wilbur. "It was a never-to-be-forgotten battle," said Charlotte. "There was the fish, caught only by one fin, and its tail widely thrashing and shining in the sun. There was the web, sagging dangerously under the weight of the fish. How much did the fish weigh?" asked Wilbur eagerly. "I don't know," said Charlotte. "There was my cousin, slipping in, dogging out, beaten mercilessly over the head by the wildly thrashing fish, dancing in, dancing out, throwing her threads and fighting hard. First she threw a left around the tail. The fish lashed back, then a left to the tail, and a right to the fin, then a hard left to the head, while the web swayed and stretched." "Then what happened?" asked Wilbur. "Nothing," said Charlotte. "The fish lost the fight. My cousin wrapped it up so tight it couldn't budge." "Then what happened?" asked Wilbur. "Nothing," said Charlotte. "My cousin kept the fish for a while, and then when she got good and ready, she ate it." "Tell me another story," begged Wilbur. So Charlotte told him about another cousin of hers who was an aeronaut. "What is an aeronaut?" asked Wilbur. "A balloonist," said Charlotte. "My cousin used to stand on her head and let out enough thread to form a balloon. Then she'd let go to be lifted into the air and carried upward on the warm wind." "Is that true?" asked Wilbur. "Or are you just making up?" "It's true," replied Charlotte. "I have some very remarkable cousins. And now, Wilbur, it's time you went to sleep." "Sing something," begged Wilbur, closing his eyes. So Charlotte sang a lullaby while crickets chirped in the grass and the barn grew dark. This was the song she sang. "Sleep, sleep, my love, my only. Dip, dip in the dawn and the dark. Be not afraid and be not lonely. This is the hour when frogs and thrushes praise the word from the woods and the rushes. Rest from care, my one and only. Dip in the dawn and the dark." But Wilbur was already asleep when the song ended. Vern got up and went home.